Salam Alaikum. Hi, Oracle Reiki Spiritual Healer. And, I have been getting requested topics about people who are hearing things. So, we're going to give these people a shout out. Sister Sheila. We got Antoine from Missouri. Sister Sheila from Mississippi. And we got Brother Mikalo from Louisiana. So when you're hearing these kinds of voices, or you're hearing someone calling your name, you need to make sure that, especially if you're in that state between sleep and being awake, and you're hearing someone calling your name, you need to make sure that you do not answer. Do not answer whatever entity that you're hearing calling you. And I'm going to give you also, the Bible verses. I'm going to give you some examples of the entity that is calling you. That entity wants your vessel. It's looking for a vessel to enter. It's looking for a low vibrational person. It's looking to, bring before your mind's eye, negative thoughts, so that it can put you in fear. It can make you think that you're crazy. It will psychically attack you to do all of these things, to put you in fear, to, make sure that you are low vibrational enough for it to enter. Do not answer when you hear your name being called. If you're looking around and you don't see anybody, that is an entity. And I've covered this in a different way, but I'm going to cover this in the same way. When you're hearing that knocking, that knocking 3 times, that is the entity that wants to enter your vessel. It wants to enter your house. It needs a vessel to possess. It's looking for a clean vessel, a low vibrational person. Again, it will start to bring before your mind's eye everything that you have lost. It will put you in that low vibrational state by, showing you if you've lost loved ones, if loved ones have passed. It wants you to, see everything that you have lost in your life, so that it can enter. If you lost your home, your cars, it wants to bring you, low vibrational in despair, so that it can enter your vessel. So I'm recommending, when this happens to you, if you hear somebody calling your name, or if you hear something knocking, that is the entity. You should immediately wake up and start praying against it. I'm recommending the 23rd chapter of Psalms, because that is an attack upon your person. That is an attack upon your mental health. That's also an attack upon, your finances, so that you can be in a lack mentality, so that you can be in despair and depression. Okay? So you don't want to get up and do anything. You don't want to get up and take a bath and cleanse your vessel. You don't want to go to work. So that's an attack to bring you into that kind of low vibrational, to make you think that you're crazy or going crazy in order to take medication and all of this negative stuff that the entity has planned for you. But we're rejecting that today. Okay. We're rejecting it, and the more that you know, the more you know how to fight it. So I'm giving you the 23rd chapter of Psalms and the 51st chapter of Psalms to pray over a vessel of oil, olive oil, and anoint yourself. That anointing under the sound of my voice means that spirit cannot enter. You can put it on your doors. You can anoint your doors. You can anoint your locks on your house. You can, pour some over your threshold. It means that this vessel has been anointed for God, and it cannot enter. Again, for those of you who are Muslim out there, I will need you to go ahead and pray the 2 and 25 Surah al-Kursi over a vessel of oil, the olive oil, and anoint yourself, because that means that you have been anointed for God, and nothing negative and evil can enter your vessel. Okay, so we're going to do that for our doors and our thresholds as well, so that nothing knocking, nothing that you hear whispering your name can enter. If you're Muslim, you'll need to pray Surah An-Nas when you hear this, if you're sleeping and you're in between that state of sleep and awake. You can pray Surah Falaq and An-Nas. That will get rid of that negative entity. Okay? And we're anointing ourselves. We're not letting anything in that is not correct. And so, and I'm going to give you the examples of when people have let these negative entities in, when they've answered the entity that has been calling them. They usually are going into these low vibrational states where they want everybody to be the same as them. They don't want anybody to be different. It makes them feel bad when you have more knowledge than them. You have to be the same as everybody else for them to feel good. They will mimic you. This entity that you're talking about, it wants you to dress the same. They will mimic you, the way that you talk, the way that you behave when you are a gifted person, a chosen one. They don't like that. They want you to be like everybody else, so that they don't feel different, that they don't feel left out, that they're upset when God hasn't blessed them in the same way that He has blessed you. Be very careful of this entity, because they get mad with the neighbors when, they got a new car or they got furniture and their house looks nice. They go and try to buy the same thing. They will mimic everything that they do, that these people do. If you're in a relationship with a person that has answered the call from this entity, they want you to dress the same way that they do. Your husband, you got to wear, everybody got to know that you're his. Your wife, everybody got to know that you're hers. You got to dress the same way. You got to work on the same job. They can't go work on jobs and get their own path. They got to work on a job with their spouse, because they're low vibrational and they've answered this call, and they're bringing the person in their life low vibrational with them. When you break out of that image that they have portrayed, where they're going to mimic everything that you do as a chosen one in these relationships, they will get angry. They will become abusive. And they will become psychotic. So you have to understand, when you have these people that want to mock you in everything that you do, they want to mimic everything that you say, or every thing that God has given you. They're gonna try and be a copycat, and the copycat spirit is attached to that person. The work that you do, they're gonna try and reproduce it. They will try to send a doppelganger. That's what they want. That's what this negative energy is sending to you. A doppelganger, a person to try to look like you, act like you, and trick people into believing that they are you, but they cannot produce, and they cannot reproduce what God has given to you of your gifts. So I wanted you to understand that this copycat, this mocking spirit, this mimicking spirit, it will come with certain things, but they cannot reproduce. They don't bring anything new to the table. Only the chosen ones can bring something new and do something new by God's grace. So be careful when you have entered into relationships, friendships, people on the job with these copycat spirits, because it's definitely a spirit, because they have answered that call, and they have allowed that whispering spirit, that entity, to enter into their lives. I hope that this has helped you. I hope that this has answered your question. You can reach out to me in the description below. I'm High Oracle, Reiki Spiritual Healer. Assalamu alaikum.